Hey everyone, it's Haley Jensen, your East Idaho Realtor, and today is December 31st. It is the last day of 2024, so I'm sitting down to make my final video of the year, and today we're going to talk about your plans for moving to Idaho Falls in 2025. Let's go over everything you need to know if you are thinking about moving to Idaho Falls in the new year. The first thing that you need to know if you are thinking about moving to Idaho Falls in the year of 2025 is that we have a very cyclical real estate market here. Right now, December, during the holidays, during the cold weather, we are a slower real estate market, and slower real estate markets translate to better prices for the buyer. So if you're like some of my clients and you have some flexibility, whether you've already sold your home, you've already retired, and you're just kind of waiting it out, looking around, I would encourage you to try to plan your move to Idaho Falls in January or February, even March. Once we hit March and our spring market, you will see prices steadily begin to increase over the spring and summer and then taper back off during the fall. So if price is one of your main motivators and you have some flexibility, I would highly encourage you to give me a call as soon as possible and plan your trip or plan your move to Idaho Falls in these colder winter months where you're going to get some really good deals on a new home. All right, the second thing I would consider if you are planning a move to Idaho Falls in 2025 is to connect with the realtor now and connect your two realtors together. So most people who are planning a move and they already own a home, most of the time they have to sell that home in whatever city that they currently live. So if that is you, and if you know that you have to sell a home before you can purchase a home in Idaho Falls, I would definitely recommend calling me first, getting on a phone call so we can discuss your move and when you're gonna move. See if I know a listing agent where you live, and if not, if you already have one, connect me with the one you already have. That makes sense. Why do we do that? Well, if you have to sell your home in order to purchase a home in Idaho Falls, that takes some planning, some strategy, and two agents that can really work well together, two title companies that can really work well together. If you have a listing agent who is less communicative, maybe newer, hasn't done a deal like this where their sale is the key ingredient to you purchasing a brand new home, things can get a little sticky. And the last thing we want to do when you are relocating, you're excited to move to a new city, is have something go wrong with the sale of your home. So the second thing, like I said, connect your two agents together. We can be on the same page. I can know how long your agent thinks your home will take to sell. Those important things so we can time that purchase and sale up just right. Close on your home that you're selling in California, Washington, wherever it is. Use those funds for your down payment here in Idaho Falls. Another thing that I will say to go along with this is prepping your home properly. So if you are considering selling your home and relocating, now is the time. It's the new year. Put it on your to-do list to get your home prepped really well so the sale of your home goes smoothly. You don't have any problems with repairs or anything like that, so you can confidently know that your home is going to sell and you'll have that money to move here to Idaho Falls. Okay, so we talked about moving in the winter and taking advantage of some of those lower prices. If that's just not you and your family, if that's not going to work because you're waiting for a job or you're waiting for school to end, you might wonder, when do I need to move there if I know my kids are starting school in 2025 in Idaho Falls? So I'll give you a little rundown on our school schedule. We get out of school the last week of May, usually like May 27th, and we start school the second week of August. So Idaho schools start a little bit sooner than a lot of other schools. We do start in August. If you have high school students who are planning on trying out for sports and being here, I would really plan on being in your home no later than the end of July, so they can start those tryouts the first week of August. Just know that if you are planning that move toward the end of August for the beginning of school, that you're not alone and that your buyer's market will be a little bit more competitive. So many people know that they want to end school in one state and start school in the next state. So they have like 2 or 3 months to find a home, get moved, and get settled. So there is a lot going on during those summer months here in our market. So keep that in mind. If you have a little bit more flexibility, I would recommend coming maybe in May or June rather than July or the beginning of August, just so you can take advantage of a little bit less competitive market and possibly get a better price on a home here in Idaho Falls. Now, I've done a whole video kind of just running down the different schools here. I will link that. We have 2 school districts here, District 91, District 93, several high schools. I've highlighted kind of what those high schools are known for, what they're good at. If you have a child who plays sports and you're really trying to find a good place for them, please just call me and we can have a conversation over the phone. Once I know kind of your family dynamic, what it is you're looking for, what it is you like, I can kind of try to help give you ideas of what areas will be a good fit for your family. One last thing on education, if you are coming from a place who has a lot of charter schools or private schools, you will find that we do not have those here in Idaho Falls as much. We have a few charter schools and 1 private Christian school here in Idaho Falls. If that is something that you're interested in, I would love to give you more information. But just know that when you're coming here, those kind of alternative education options are not as prevalent here in Idaho Falls as they are in other parts of the country and even over in Boise. We just aren't quite there yet. So if education is something you have questions on, my kids are educated here in the state of Idaho, in Idaho Falls, and I can kind of give you some pointers. If your children have special needs or IEPs, I would love to help you kind of get the ball rolling and connect it to the right people so you can be ready for the school year in 2025. Okay, let's talk financing and money and stuff like that. So if you're like most people and you're moving here, you need a lender, you need a loan in order to buy a new home. So if you're moving to the state of Idaho, I always recommend using a local lender, someone who is local to the state. Yes, you can get online, you can get pre-approved with Rocket Mortgage or places like that, but I highly recommend using someone with boots on the ground here in Idaho Falls. I have a list of excellent lenders who help me with my relocations, dealing with people who aren't here, who can't come into the office, who have to do everything over phone, email, and text, and we have a really good system to get you guys ready to come here to Idaho Falls. Keep in mind that if you are planning a move, your pre-approval letter is usually good for around 60 days. So, you're probably excited, and if you want to start looking at houses and know what you can afford, I always recommend getting pre-approved first. But if you're not moving till July, you're probably a little premature if you are getting that pre-approval letter or looking at homes right now. I will tell you that if you're planning a move in July and you're on Zillow already, picking out homes, saving the addresses, finding things you like, those will for sure be gone by July. And if you're looking at homes in a certain price range, that price range will also be different by July. So I know it's exciting. I know you want to find the home and just be ready to go when your move this summer comes, but just hold tight just a little bit and start your pre-approval process probably in April or May. Once we have your pre-approval, that's when we will start saving those houses, keeping an eye on them, and finding what you truly like. Now I have a whole channel full of videos talking about different parts of Idaho Falls. I highly encourage you to go to my channel, subscribe, so you can see my new videos every single week. Go through the playlists and see what I have already up there. But let's give you a quick rundown on Idaho Falls. So Idaho Falls is really, to me, separated into 2 parts. The west side, which is Idaho Falls proper, that takes downtown and west of the river, and then East Idaho Falls, which is actually its own city, and it's called Ammon. So there's 2 kind of separate sides of Idaho Falls. I will be honest, most of my clients right now are moving to Ammon. It's the newer developed area of Idaho Falls. Many more new builds. If you look through my videos and look at the new builds that I'm walking through, those are all in Ammon. Ammon is where most of the new construction, the commercial construction, is going on. Target, Costco, kind of all of our chain restaurants, Crumble Cookie, Costa Vida, Cafe Rio, Chick-fil-A, That's all here in Ammon. So that's one reason why I love to speak with my potential clients before we start looking for homes. Because if I can get an idea of what your day-to-day looks like and what things are important to you, I can kind of help you decide what side of town you want to be on. If you are relocating here to Idaho Falls to work for the site, and you are working at their in-town facility, you're gonna be working on the west side of Idaho Falls. Now, if you live in Ammon and you're working over there, you're looking at about a 25-minute drive from east to west. That might not be a very long commute to you. That's like the longest commute here, and I hate driving all the way west because I feel like it's so far away. So those are things to keep in mind if you want a really quick commute. There's some great neighborhoods right next to the INL building out there on the west side. Another thing to note, and another thing I love to talk to my clients about if you are relocating with the INL, is bus stops. You'll know that you're gonna take a bus out to Arco to get to your job 4 days a week. And so finding you the right bus stop and helping you find a home close to that bus stop so your commute is a lot shorter are just things that I love to help my clients think ahead about and really get in the right neighborhood for their family and the things that their family does. Now, if you're a parent, especially a mom, and you are planning to move your family to Idaho Falls this year, I know that there are a lot of things for you to be nervous about. I promise you that we can find you a fantastic house in your price range. We have a lot of good inventory. We have a lot of new homes still being built. So the home itself, don't be nervous about that. We will find it for you. Even if we have to do all remote showings. I have clients who have moved to Idaho Falls with never having been here at all. So video chats between us, me walking you through homes over FaceTime, it's something I do all the time. I am a mom of 4, and so I know exactly what to look for a mom in a house in terms of kitchen, laundry room, all of those things. I promise I'm really picky and I can help you find what you're looking for. Another thing that you're probably nervous about is moving your kids here and relocating them and having them start over. And I promise you that Idaho Falls is a really, really friendly place. All of my clients who have moved their kids here, their kids have adjusted well, they have made friends quickly. So I want to just assure you that everything is gonna be okay. Your kids will adjust. It might take some time, but this is a very, very friendly community with a lot of community events and a lot of opportunities to meet people. I was talking to a California client that moved here over the summer, just checking in on them and their family, and he said their neighborhood is so friendly. Whenever he's out taking the garbage out or mowing the lawn, his neighbors are stopping by, saying hello. He said, I never talked to my neighbors in California. We never talked to each other. We didn't wave. He's like, I've talked to my neighbors more here in Idaho Falls in the last few months than I ever did in California. So just know that you're coming to a very friendly place. Your kids are gonna be okay. We're gonna find the right home for you and make your adjustment to Idaho Falls as smooth as we can. Now, if you're still on the fence and you are researching places to move, you know you want to change and you haven't quite decided where you want to move yet, please check out my channel, check out the videos, call or text me with any questions at all. But here's why I think 2025 is a great year to move to Idaho Falls. If you've watched some of my previous videos, I have gone through the pros and cons of living in Idaho Falls. And if you're moving from a big city with lots to do and see all the time, you will notice we have a much quieter and slower pace of life. But I think that 2025 is bringing some really exciting changes to Idaho Falls that might make your transition a little bit easier. The first thing that I think has really made us step up a little bit in our entertainment is the opening of the Mountain America Center and our new ice hockey team. So the Spud Kings came to Idaho Falls, just something for the community to rally around. We have the Chuckers in the summer, our baseball team, and now we have a hockey team in the winter and a brand new facility. The games are super fun, so something to consider if you kind of want to jump right into the community. Check out getting tickets to the Spud Kings at the Mountain America Center. Also, the Mountain America Center has already hosted concerts and events, and that is just, it's a really big deal here. Usually to get to a concert, a big one at least, we go to Salt Lake City or Boise, and more artists are coming straight to Idaho Falls, and so for us that is really, really exciting. Now, I have talked about the Idaho Falls Airport before, and I've kind of badmouthed it a little bit, and my tune is starting to change. We have been choosing to fly out of the Idaho Falls Airport more and more, and so especially this month, we are planning a pretty big trip, and we have done a ton of research on ticket prices, and the Idaho Falls flights are starting to compete with or even beat the Salt Lake City flights in terms of price. So we have flown directly out of Idaho Falls to go to places like Portland, Mesa, Arizona. We flew out of Idaho Falls to get to Mexico this year. So the number of flights is increasing, and their prices really aren't bad if you do the math and think about your drive to Salt Lake and parking your car long term, etc. We have decided to start flying out of Idaho Falls. Idaho Falls is also in the middle of undergoing a big renovation and expansion in their airport. So 2025, 26, and 27, we're really looking up in terms of flights. So if your family travels and being close to an airport is important, I will tell you Idaho Falls Airport lines are amazing, super, super quick to get in and out of. So traveling out of Idaho Falls is getting easier, better, and even cheaper. So there's a plus. And the last reason why I think it's a really good year to move to Idaho Falls is simply because we have had so many families relocate and start calling Idaho Falls their home that we're really starting to get a better diverse population, people with different experiences coming from different states, people who are looking to get involved with the community and make new friends. And I just think that we are kind of turning a leaf. We've been stereotypically small Mormon town, and as things change, we are getting a lot more people, a lot more, with that comes new businesses, new restaurants, etc. And Idaho Falls is really kind of in this sweet spot of small town community, but getting a little bit bigger feel. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is when you need to come and visit and look at homes with me. So we talked a little bit about pre-approval and how to get that, and when you should come out and start looking at homes. So I can find you a home in one weekend and get an offer written. If you only have the opportunity to come out one time, we're gonna do a lot of searching on the internet. We're gonna find your top 5, 6, 7 homes, and we're gonna go look at those all in one day. If we have to. So if you have limited amount of time, let's get on the phone and plan that weekend where you guys can come and visit. So if you only have a limited amount of time, we need like a weekend and then 30 days to close if you are using a conventional loan. So let's say you have decided that you're gonna move to Idaho Falls at the beginning of July. That means we need to make an offer at the beginning of June, which means sometime in May, mid to end of May, we wanna get your pre-approval letter done with one of my local lenders, and you guys wanna plan a trip out here. In some instances, we can have an extended close. If you find a home that you really, really love, but you can't move for 45 days, sometimes we can negotiate that in the offer. But in those summer months, if that's when you're planning on moving, I would say almost always we have a standard 30-day close, so you have to be prepared to move in that 30-day window. One last thing I want to touch on really quickly is if you know that you are looking for a brand new home, you've seen some of my videos, you've seen the new builds, and you know that you are looking for a new home for your family, I will tell you that almost every single builder here wants your home that you're selling on the market, under contract, and sometimes even through that inspection period. So I know it feels a little bit nerve-wracking to sell your home before you have put an offer on a home here, because, you know, what if you can't find one, or what if the home you like sells? But if you are looking for a brand new home, know that your home has to already be pending, or a builder here is not going to consider your offer. So that's another reason why it's really, really important to connect me with your listing agent in whatever city that you're in, so we can fine tune those things and make sure that you are not homeless even for a week or two, to make that move as smooth as possible. One last thing that just popped into my mind, because it's a question I get a lot. What if I have a week and I need to stay in a hotel, or I need to stay in an RV park, or I need to store my things? That is something I'm happy to help you find vendors for. Storage units, RV parks, Airbnbs. I have a lot of connections here, and we can find you a place to stay if you absolutely have to. Or if you're like, I can't buy a home sight unseen, I need to stay in an Airbnb for a month before I choose my forever home. Those are other options that we have as well. All right, that's about it. A quick overview of why I think you should move to Idaho Falls in 2025. Happy New Year. Like I said, it's December 31st. We are actually heading out to one of our favorite Airbnbs in Pocatello. I'll have to tell you about it another time if you decide to move here to Idaho Falls. Thanks again for watching. Go to my channel, subscribe. I put out new videos every single week that will help make your relocation to Idaho Falls a little bit smoother. Thanks again.